So as you guys travel around to check everything else, the other staircase that you went to see is also caved in. So it looks like the only way to go is either up back through the house or down to where the chanting continues ceaselessly.
Let's chant. Let's go down and.
Before we go down, I will cut myself again to be ready. Hopefully, I will not take 4 damage this time.
I was going to say, you're perpetually going to be
3
away from...
That's the best I've done so far.
Yay.
All right. This is where
I have this fascination with blood. I don't know what it is.
As you come down, you see a familiar bluish glow coming from flames within these flasks. There's an entrance to here at the bottom of the foot of the stair that opens up into a wide room. Let me just read this description. Before you is lit with a familiar blue glow of magical light held in ornate holders all over the room. The room's center is supported by 8 plain pillars, while the walls are punctuated with niches and alcoves, all sporting identical pedestals. There is also 2 doorways to the west, so just over here and here. The first is sculpted and reveals a shaped stone pathway, while the second is cut more naturally in the stone and leads down a slight slope. The ghostly chant emanates from the doorway that is cut out in the stone there, and it is clearly now to all of you saying, "He is the ancient, he is the land, the end comes, death be praised."
And who was it where all these lights are? These were all the guys who were chanting?
Nope, these are just lights that are kind of glowing blue. They're just...
So we just hear chanting, but we don't see where it's coming from.
Yeah, so the chanting is coming from over here.
All right.
And there's a path going this way as well.
I'm going to continue to, just past the first pillars, and I'm going to sense for any evil to direct me.
Sounds good.
I think it's worth everybody else kind of just looking around too to see if anything is off.
You sense great undead and not and what can you sense again?
Just celestial fiend and undead.
Okay.
And I guess good. It just says good and evil.
Yeah, you sense great evil basically over here.
Okay.
Not necessarily undead, but great evil. Okay.
All right.
What to do? So each one of these alcoves has something on the pedestal within it.
I know you mentioned earlier we need to be rolling perception, so I would just like to do that just to see if there's.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do as well.
That's good. Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh, 16.
16.
Whoa.
And 17.
Whoa.
I will come in the room and kind of do a sweep around for my favorite things.
Which direction would you like to go, left or right?
I'll go to the left.
Left, all right.
I'll go center.
Don't overburden yourself there, Grimbold. We'll need you soon.
Anybody else going anywhere?
We need to be careful.
Should I do a perception or an investigation?
Let's go ahead and do an investigation roll. Jax, Poe flies off of your shoulder and lies here and sort of stares into very familiar looking purple flames. They're not really blue, before going over and standing here on top of this.
I rolled an 11.
Otherwise, you don't notice anything other than the chanting and everything. Nothing of... Those just happen to stick out to you.
The flame
investigation
familiar to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Why do they look familiar?
Would you like to go and investigate?
Sure.
All right. Go ahead and give me a roll.
What am I?
Okay. Investigation. Yeah.
Investigation.
Gribbled.
Yep.
For you is a sundial, usually to keep time, but instead of a regular kind of slanted pointer type of deal, it's made of a sword that has a sun pattern on it.
Ooh.
The
Hard
next
to do that
one
not in the sun.
has a bag, a leather bag, satchel.
See?
Linaris, what would you like to do in Zoltan?
I'm gonna check down the hall on the right.
I'll go with Lunaris as well, if you don't mind.
Oops. Mm-hmm. Oh.
Linaris is stuck in the door.
I'll just send
Lunaris.
you away for now. Send you over this way for now. Okay, Kiani. You get to this position, and something that strikes you as you're kind of as you're walking by is this.
Hmm.
This orb of amber has been shattered. It looks very familiar to you, and seems to call to you.
Okay.
What? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so I can run a perception check to maybe see what's it all about, or maybe get something from it.
Go ahead and do an investigation for it.
Investigation. Okay. Investigation. That's a better. Yeah, that's better one. Yeah.
What did you get for your roll, Shanna?
+3, so I only got 10.
It doesn't actually need to be that high. You know that the flame coming from your hand is exactly the same as the flames surrounding this empty pillar.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know better, you would believe that you're the one generating the fire here.
Interesting.
What was your roll, Keanu?
8.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't take too much for you to believe that it looks pretty much the exact same as the shards that you have collected previously.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, what are you looking at?
Hot dog.
Hot dog?
I'm trying to have a conversation with Kiani from across the room. Kiani, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at a ball that's broken, or orb that's broken. That's what I'm looking at.
Why did you choose to look at that orb? Because these flames over here are exactly like my flames, and I'm wondering if there's something in this room for each of us.
Mm-hmm. It appears so.
As you guys are doing that, Lunaris and Zoltan, you guys come to what is different in this whole area, it seems. You see alcoves that have been chiseled quite intently and quite nicely. The light here shines a normal color, almost like it might be consecrated. You're not quite sure. Lunaris, it gives you a much more peaceful feeling down here. There are sarcophagi or crypts, essentially, in this area, some of which are open that you can just kind of see, some that have seals on them that would take a great amount of effort to open. You also happen to peer down here and see a gate of some kind that leads to some water.
One
So
might have...
then, as you're kind of... What's that?
No, you please finish. Didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt.
that's fine. Just going to get rid of this real quick. As you're kind of coming over here, two newer cutout niches show themselves to you. The coffins here and here. Oh yeah, that's right. Clearly are a lot smaller than the ones over here and here.
Lenaris, look at these. Looks like these are meant for either children or perhaps halflings. They're definitely smaller. So I wonder if we ought to lay to rest the rest of the Durst family so that any adventurers who come along this way in the future do not come to the same unfortunate circumstances that we have in being trapped down here.
You are absolutely right. In fact, we should, after we're done here, go back up to get Mr. and Mrs. Durst and bring them down into this obvious family crypt, as well as the children's bodies for their sarcophagi.
Do we know where the children's bodies are?
They were in the attic, weren't they?
I don't know.
Zoltan doesn't know that.
Oh, right.
I've never been to the attic. I was dragged downstairs against my will.
So, before we came down to find you, we do believe we found the bodies of the children up in the attic. Now, was there two specific ones? The two smaller?
Yep.
Thorns and Roses?
Yep.
Okay.
It was clearly Thorn and Rosevalda in their clothes that you had first seen them when they were playing outside. That's basically what.
Yes, we will put them to rest as they deserve.
Okay. I'll go back.
Let's go back to our group and
yes,
know our findings.
I agree.
Grimbold, you have a pouch,
yes.
a leather pouch that has like a thing. Do you want to look inside?
I want to look inside.
It has treasure, but not treasure you might like. It is a petrified elf's ear, a darker hue than you normally would see. But yes.
I leave it and walk, I guess, down a little more. Yeah.
Ah, Grimbold, you see something that you thought was already in your possession.
Ooh.
It appears to be a signet ring with an A on it, and there's a castle in behind. You recognize it as the signet ring of one Asher of Candlekeep, whom you had collected his stuff when he passed away.
This ring, I thought it was in my pocket.
What's it got?
You say that out loud?
Yes.
Okay. Do you actually pick it up, or do you do anything with it?
I pick it up, and I have it in my hand.
As you turn around, you feel the presence, as soon as you grab it, you feel the presence of somebody standing behind you. As you do, a familiar face, though similar in, shall we say, etherealness to the children, stands before you. He kind of gives a faint smile, but before you is the man who was, in fact, murdered before your very eyes. Asher. Yeah. There is a crow, Jax. A crow. A warble, I suppose, from this pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
It appears that Poe is just standing upon it.
Okay, so I'm going to run over to Poe and see what's up. Poe, what's
other than him, it's empty, and he just pecks at the pedestal and then quirks his eyebrows, or quirks his head to the left, and the same word that he had said earlier, only this time out loud, is spoken. Treasure. And then he flies onto your shoulder.
Poe is telling me something is in either this pedestal or these pedestals, and there's treasure.
Treasure?
Give me intelligence check.
Yes, Grim. Treasure. 13 in my intelligence. And you just the regular intelligence plus 1, so 14.
Yeah, you're pretty confident that he's not necessarily looking at the at this particular pedestal, but he's indicating that anything on top of the pedestals are the treasure he's indicated.
Okay. Well, there's nothing on mine though. That's just the flames, right?
As soon as you say that, he flies back onto the pedestal and pecks at the pedestal, and then flies once more onto your shoulder. You can kind of guess that he's meaning that he is your treasure.
Okay, I was wondering that, but I was like, is that...
you rolled high enough that that's... I'll give that to you.
Okay.
That's why I did it again, just to make sure you understood. Like, it's empty because he's the treasure, essentially. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
Kiani.
that makes sense.
Sorry. What else would you like to do? Anything?
I don't think there's anything much I would like to do. I'm having a little...
You're gonna leave these you're gonna leave this crystal alone and just walk away, or?
Well, yeah, I don't really remember what the... I don't really remember what the significance of it is.
So the shards that are within your hammer look pretty much identical to this broken sphere, essentially. You can kind of come to the conclusion that essentially this might be the source of where these shards come from. You're not sure, but yeah, that's essentially... they look pretty much the same, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely not interested in that anymore, so
okay.
I'd like to get back in the group.
Okay.
So yeah.
Sounds good. This time, you guys probably make it back. Would you guys like to report anything?
Yep. I'm going to tell them our findings, explain that once we're done here, we're going to bring the family together to rest.
Okay. And I want to tell you that if you look on one of these pedestals, there's some kind of something that is special to you here.
Oh? So, I turn around and look at the pedestal. That one, yeah.
This particular pedestal holds a perfectly shaped square or cube, rather, block of marble. It is pristine and in the most... It looks like a pristine piece of marble with no flaws whatsoever in it.
Okay. I don't quite know what the use of this
significance
would
to
be.
anybody here?
And I guess I look at the gold one, the gold shattered. So what's this one
You
all
also
about?
think this looks... You also think this looks kind of familiar. The color of the shards, or of the broken sphere, looks similar to the gemstones that are within Kiani's Warhammer.
Okay, that can't be a coincidence. Kiani, do you have any history on your Warhammer? And what are those gemstones about?
I think the only thing that's for my Warhammer is that it was given to me. Nobody knows who.
Have you seen these sort of gems before?
Not that I can
Besides your hammer?
recollect. Not that I can recollect.
That a character was there the goblin that had those shards and the dagger? I don't remember.
Yep. Your the shards that were being held as daggers by the goblin had fused into your Warhammer previous.
So they fused, and that could be significant. I don't know what.
I don't think any of this is coincidence.
No. Keep an eye on that one. But what else? What else did we find? What else have we not seen yet?
I found this
I'll
ring.
just go around the room. I'll just go around the room and just tell you what you find for those who look. There's a sundial with a sword instead of like an actual thing. There's a desiccated ear of a elf of some kind. There is a signet ring of some kind. There is a plank of wood that has been sharpened into a stake. There are purple flames that look very familiar that are perpetually covering this pedestal, purple flames. There's an empty, small coffin that's really nicely shaped. There's a set of dragon chests on here, except the pieces are all from 5 different materials or 5 different sets.
So it's
the
not
board
all
is one piece, but
Okay.
yeah, they're all different pieces, and they're all randomly placed on the board. There are 3 statues of the same lady, but of different material. There's one made of the gray stone that you see around you. There is one out of a kind of aquamarine kind of stone, and then there's one made of a purest black marble. This is the empty one that stays empty for a bit. There is a vial of viscous liquid that clearly is blood. There is a book with some kind of latching onto it, a locking mechanism. Grimbold, also something you thought was in your possession, but is here. And you have a shattered crystal globe of amber, and finally the pristine piece of white marble.
This seems like quite the odd collection of items or memorabilia here. Does anything seem worthwhile to anybody?
This ring and that book were how I got here.
Well, Poe was showing me one of them, and the flames are obviously related to me.
Jax, give me a perception check, please.
Okinsy dokinsy. 11.
Okay, yep, that's fine.
To me, it seems like that blood is related to me somehow, along with that wooden sword. I don't know how or why or what the significance is.
The wooden stake.
Yeah.
Stake, yeah.
I think that's the ring, unless it's close to me, by the way. That's why I'm not saying anything.
Well, Grimbold did point out like the ring and the book, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you pointed out that you can see somebody and nobody else seems to see them?
Exactly. Like, I have no idea. So,
Or did you forget about that?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine.
My brain was going.
It's okay. It's okay.
And this man, I saw him die.
What man?
This man, don't you see him? Right here.
I don't see any man, just you.
I don't see a man.
Jax, as you're kind of peering closer, you finally kind of catch a glimpse of the ring that Grimbold is holding, and it looks very familiar to you.
Grim, can I see that ring, please?
Sure.
Do you take it from him?
Yes.
All right. As soon as the ring leaves your fingers, Grimbold, the image of Asher disappears.
He's
Sharon, you
gone.
pick it up. But nothing.
Recognize the ring.
What's that?
Am I able to like put 2 and 2 together that the ring was Asher's?
Oh, yes. It is definitely a ring that once owned by your brother, Asher.
Okay. This is my brother's ring. Grim, how did you get this?
I took it out of his pocket after he was murdered.
My brother's been murdered?
Yes. I saw it with my own eyes.
Who killed him?
Some thieves. He also had that book.
Jax is clearly, suddenly very furious.
Lunar says a small prayer.
Almost glowing. You can almost see like being a fire, that the fire around her is getting, and it's intensifying.
You can't stop the fire.
It was always burning since the world's been turning.
There is a warble next to your ear, and the third eye, the first two eyes of Poe close, and the third eye stays open, and there is like a peering connection between you. You're still angry, but there's a strange comfort that comes from the third eye that's somehow connected to you. Almost like a hand is on your shoulder, kind of trying to comfort you. But just not exactly like that. It's more, you could call it
I know what
empathic
you mean. Or I know what you mean.
Okay. Yeah, so Grimbled, you can't help yourself but recognize this book over here as well. It is definitely the reason why you got here.
Mm-hmm. Jax, you need to see this book. This was the book your brother wanted, or had me save.
Jax reaches out for the book.
Yeah, this looks like the Ashen Tome that Asher was thinking to seek, and that you thought you had a beeline on it, but apparently he had found it after all.
I recognize this. My brother sent me copies of some pages looking for this book. I left to find this book.
He found it, but was murdered.
Sorry.
Very blunt, I like it. Yeah, he found it, but he's dead now.
All right, so I'm gonna pick up the book.
It weighs about 50 pounds.
Holy shit!
It is extremely difficult to lift. In fact, by carrying it yourself, you find yourself encumbered.
Mm.
Can I just kind of look through it?
It has got some kind of device on the front that is attached to a clasp that clearly is sort of like a dais or a multiple rings that needs to be used to unlock it.
Mm. Do I have any kind of knowledge that might help me to try and do that?
You can roll an intelligence if you want, Arcana.
Arcana. I can read. 12.
Yeah, I mean it's clearly some kind of locking mechanism, but you have no real understanding of it. It's literally like, yeah, it's a massive weight to you. Grimbled, you recognize that the mechanism was similar, but has clearly changed from the last time that you saw it opened from the false paladin. Yeah.
The book has changed since the last I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
The clasp, it's not the same.
Interesting. Has any of these other items changed at all? Poe's the same. My fire looks the same. This ring is definitely was Asher's ring.
I'll venture over and pick up the couple items that I think are related to me and kind of stash them.
Add a vial of blood and a wooden stake to your inventory.
Nothing appears different to any of you other than the lock on this book.
Lunar's
None of this
gonna go
looks
check out.
familiar at all.
Lunar's gonna check out the sundial.
Okay. Do you touch it? Do you do anything with it?
Does the sword look familiar?
No.
Sure. Let's touch it. Let's pick it up.
Lunaris, as you grasp onto it, you get a flash. The sword that is before you, in a very clear image, you can see it in your hand. It blazes with sunlight, brighter than any day you've ever seen, let alone a day in Barovia. There is a man standing next to you, and he nods in a greeting. And just as quickly as the image came, it goes ice cold. There is a woman behind you. And as you turn to look, the vision stops, and you find yourself staring at this block of marble.
Okay. Interesting. And the sundial, am I like holding it? Or did I just touch it? Right.
Yeah, you kind of look at it, and it's just it looks like a regular brass timepiece, but it just happens to have a sword, for
All right.
arm instead.
I'm gonna carry it over to the marble block, and I'm gonna touch the marble block first. Like, is it smooth on top?
Yeah, it's perfect. It looks like it was like melted into a perfect cube.
That's crazy. So yeah, I'll put the sundial on top of it.
Okay. You get another flash. This time, the sword in your hand is a massive greatsword. It no longer burns with the sunlight. It is the purest of marble, and the hand that reaches out for you comes from a young child who is exquisitely beautiful, clearly has angelic wings of some sort, and she presses her hand upon your face gently and smiles, and then the image fades instantly.
I feel blessed. Everyone, I don't quite know what I experienced, but I feel like I'm being watched over.
So, would I be able to take this vial of blood and pour just one drop onto that stake and see if anything happens?
Sure. You basically have a blood-covered stake. You give me a intelligence. Let me just look at your character.
A blood-covered steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Is it rare?
Medium well.
Medium well, no, get out.
There's
Give
no
me an
blood left in
investigation
that.
at
What?
an advantage.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said there, Michael.
Investigation with advantage.
Okay.
Your intelligence is so high.
I know, right? 21.
Okay. You recognize that as you're pouring the blood out, you've cut yourself enough times that you're aware not just of the properties of your blood, but you're actually convinced that this is your blood.
Huh. Wonder where they got this from. There's no
The
way that I
stake is-
cut myself along the way here that they could have drawn blood or anything.
I mean, you've accessed your blood to unlock power before, but this is So I mean, it is quite a bit of blood. Like, I mean, it's like a vial that you would take from a doctor's office. Essentially, that's how much blood's there. So that's a significant amount. You're not sure when anybody might have had the opportunity to get that from you. Whether it was collected like over time or what, but yeah, you're very confident. You have a very deep internal sense that this is your blood. That if you were to use it, it would essentially be like using your hemocraft abilities.
Okay. Can I tell anything about this stake in my hand?
Yeah, it's just looks like a particularly well-fashioned steak. It looks like it might have been made from something else long ago, but you can't quite tell what. You can call it, say maybe it's mahogany or something like that.
Okay, well, I'll put them back in my bag, knowing what to do now.
Kiadi, you recognize the ear that has been left out of the bag.
Friend of yours?
It looks the same in hue as as your own ancestors, essentially. You recognize, even though your tribe has been decimated, this suggests that somebody from your tribe, whether long ago, may have come to this part of the world before.
This is very eerie with everything here.
It's like someone knew we were coming.
What else? Go ahead.
Yeah, so essentially what you guys come to figure is that everything in the room except for these 3 items seems to directly apply to you in some way. Jax, obviously, the fire is very similar to yourself. The raven insists seemingly that it is a treasure of some kind. This book, if you lay it down, sorry, let me. It's not the book that actually does anything. As you're holding the ring, Jax, there's a nudge from it that sort of allows it to slip, and it rolls back to Grimble.
I will pick up the ring.
Yeah.
Where I
as you
that Grim.
This is yours.
I didn't.
As you go to hand it to her, Asher is before you once more.
Asher is here. I can see him. He's right here. Do you see him?
I don't see anyone. Do I feel anything at all? Nothing?
Nope. Asher turns to Jax and goes to put his hand on her shoulder, and it just goes right through her. She doesn't seem to see anything.
His hand is on your shoulder.
He sighs, and his other hand lifts and goes on top of the book. Jax, that book has become 100 pounds, not 50. And it is almost impossible for you to hold on to it.
Alright, so I'm probably going to drop the book then. Which does not make me happy.
Fun.
Can you use that ring to open it?
As she drops it, Asher kind of evaporates into a mirage, essentially.
He's gone again.
I can't see him.
See what happens when you put the ring near the book.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
And I put the ring to the book.
Okay. There's a ring next to a book.
All right, well, nothing happened there. Okay. Grim, is that book heavy to you?
I will pick it up.
Seems like a book.
It's a book.
It's not 50 pounds or 100 pounds?
Doesn't feel
Definitely
like
not 50 pounds or 100 pounds. Nope, it is like a regular book to you.
That's odd. That book is very heavy when I tried to pick it up.
Let's
Okay.
take it.
Should I put it in
guess.
my backpack?
Yes.
Add an ashen tome
And the ring.
to your and a ring signet to your inventory.
Is the marble slab heavy? I mean, it's marble.
Yes, it's actually pretty much like just as heavy as the dais in which it's
All
standing
right.
on.
I'm just gonna leave it there then.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You can tell that the experience you had
Was
is like
enough.
that's pretty much what was meant for, essentially.
Got it. Okie dokie. Kiani.
Did you want to do anything?
Yeah. How's it going over there? Do you recognize the ear?
Yeah. Yeah, I recognize the ear. But I don't know what it means. Don't know what it means for this situation that we're in.
Well, it appears that these items are significant to us, so it might be best to just we'll come back to it at a later time and decode what's going on. Let's pocket these things and free some souls.
Amen.
Were you going to take that ear, Kiani?
Yeah, I'll take the ear.
Oh,
You can add that to your inventory.
And the shattered orb. It may not seem like a lot, but it still has significance to you specifically.
Mm-hmm.
do I need to put a weight on that book?
Nope.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't have any weight to you.
I kind of.
Should we open up that gate there? See what's going on in there?
Mm-hmm. Was Kiani taking the shattered pieces of the orb?
Yeah, I'll take a piece of the orb.
All right. As you touch the shards of amber, you see a vision. The vision is of a temple, a massive temple made of this same material. It is expansive. You see it far off. You get in your hunter's soul, in your barbarian wood elven soul. You recognize it is far to the west. You're not sure why you know that, but you just happen to know the direction. The doors are made of amber, and you reflexively push open the door. Bright light comes, and the vision ends. The shards of this orb turn into nothing more than just sand.
Well, I guess those were less stable than I thought. Off to the gate.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
This one? Oops. So the chanting in here is quite loud. You can't quite tell where it's coming from. You do see a doll resting on a dais.
Child's
Or
doll?
sorry, yeah, so you realize, Zoltan, when you kind of peer through, this doll looks like the sort of wizard-like doll. Thorn seems to be sitting there staring at you. And there's also another throne of some kind here, where different in construction, but you can't quite see from here. The Blink, the doll, is sitting there as well. Jax, as you notice the same thing. Rose has been silent for some time. She peers inside through your eyes, and suddenly she lets out a scream as the doll's eyes and therefore Thorn's glow, and you see her ghostly visage float past these gates and find her way to the other throne sitting beside Thorn. As you guys kind of look inside, you can't quite see any way to really get this gate up. It's possible maybe that you guys can strong arm it, but yeah.
On the other side, Lunaris and we saw another gate. Can we try opening that one?
Yeah, might be okay. We never did check to see if it was actually an openable gate.
Mm-hmm.
You just hear the chanting get louder and louder, as well as the soft sobs of Rosavalda Durst.
Okay.
Yeah, well, if we can't open this one, let's try that other one.
Yep. Just we're all there. How's it look?
This one has a lever. I don't think we should have it there, but that is right next to this gate here.
Could I do an investigation to make sure that there's no trap or anything associated with that lever?
Sure. Yeah. Just give me a perception.
Just perception. Okay.
I'll roll a perception as well.
Ooh, 8.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good.
Hey. Oh. My dice got stuck. Oh, okay. I'll roll again. Oh, maybe I need to. Oh, it's. Okay, so my original roll was 18.
Yep. Yeah, you don't see anything too crazy, but you're confident that this door can be opened with the lever that you...
All right, so go ahead and I'll pull the lever.
Go.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Ready. The door sort of... Oops. Exactly. Anyway, it opens. Apparently that's not what not the one I thought it was. You guys enter in here. The chamber is very large. You recognize that the voices coming around here originate from these different dolls. Each one is unique in its own character. This one, Zoltan, you recognize as the straw-haired little doll girl. You also recognize this one, which is kind of like a weird, more wooden kind of doll, but he has like a lute in his hands. This one looks like a top hat with a staff. There's one with sort of a wolfish-looking character that you haven't seen before, nor have you seen this one. You realize that there is a soft drumming coming from this one. He has a skull that he's kind of using as a drum. There is this one with a tiny little baby, little baby held in her arms. One more with this is the tin can one that you kind of saw from before, who had like armor as a tin can or something similar. And this one with kind of like a tiger's face with two nails as sort of held up in his arms.
Okay.
I will go ahead and show you what this looks like. so you know a little bit of what you're looking
Pleasant.
at. Oh, very nice group of characters.
Okay, what do we want to do? Can you describe that thing in the middle there?
Yeah, so this is a dais upon which is a shattered altar of some sort. It looks like it had been stained with blood once upon a time, but it looks like it has been washed clean. It's got slight pinkish hue to the white stone that it's made of. Before you is the wizard doll that you remember seeing, Rose, who is staring down at the ground, Thorn, who is looking at you skeptically, and a glowing-eyed Link that seems to be currently inert.
Okay.
I want the wizard doll.
Anybody have any thoughts here?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure.
Can we roll perception checks to see if there's anything noted?
Sure.
$18.
11.
$12.
Even though the water is very murky, you don't see it at first until you kind of really taking in the whole scene. But there are bones of an armor and various other equipment of dozens of people within the water.
Wonder if these were adventurers like us.
Possibly.
As you say that, sorry,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, as you say that, the chanting stops. All the dolls turn to you, their eyes glowing a flash of blue light. And they say, in unison, "One must die. One must die." Thorn turns to you as they continue over and over again, saying, "One must die." And he says, "I'm not convinced that any of you are any different than those you see before me. And so I'll make this deal with you. One of you can choose to stay as my friend," and he points to this little wizard doll. "The rest of you can go, but you must choose to stay. One must die. The rest can go."
How do we know we can trust him? Even if that were true, though, how do we know we could trust him?
You can give me an insight roll if you want.
I only got an 8.
Okay. Yeah, you're just skeptical and keeping his word. You're not sure.
Doesn't sound like a good deal to me.
I got an 18.
You know he means what he says, that if somebody were to sacrifice themselves, that he would allow the rest to leave. But you also think that there's something else behind his words. You can't quite tell exactly what it is, but he looks worried to some degree.
You've taken far too many lives.
We help free you instead. There's no way that you want to be here perpetually.
You, Grimbold in particular, you notice that he looks uncomfortable. He swallows and doesn't know really how to reply.
What's this?
I'm beyond.
Check out your tongue.
He he says, So many claim that they would be here to help. None ever succeed. None ever really want to.
What
I'm beyond help.
to do?
I wonder what would happen if I poured out that vial of blood on there, but I don't want to waste it either.
Save your vial.
Okay.
Besides gathering more friends, you haven't exactly told us or mentioned what we can do to save you.
The wizard, the glow in the wizard doll's eyes seems to disappear, and he runs up and says, "They must be put to rest. They have to." And suddenly he starts to float. A blue energy sort of sends him into the middle here upon the dais. He seems to be like choking of some sort, but suddenly he is ripped apart, his entire being shattered.
I think that answers our question, Lunaris. Do you remember our plan from earlier?
I do.
What else left is there to do other than to go grab all of their bodies and put them to rest in the crypt behind us?
We shall give them peace. So yeah, do we leave to do that now?
Can't see anything else to do in here.
The destruction of one of his toys sends Thorn into something of a fit. He's really distraught by it. He's like, "No, why'd you do that?" The doll sort of floats to the center of the dais. It doesn't say anything, but the glow from the eyes of all these returns to at least the ones in the back, and they start rushing towards you guys. Go ahead and give me a initiative, please.
All right. I think it is about, Shanna, do you have to go now?
Yeah, I realize.
Okay. I got an 8.
I got a 5. My rolls.
What the heck? I got an 8.
I got a 15.
Okay. You guys all get one round to do what you want. What would you like to do?
I'm going to cast Bless.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you want to go in order or not, but...
I'm going to use my action to hide.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do, because fighting these dudes isn't going to help us much, I don't think.
Thornbolt has never been our enemy. The one that is our enemy just revealed itself.
Mm-hmm.
So my Bless, I can target 3 creatures, and each of you get an additional D4 for your attack roll or saving roll.
Ooh, cool.
For 1 minute. The people I choose is going to be Zoltan, Kiani, and myself.
Should I try and go get the bodies and put them to rest?
Yeah, I'd love if we could all just run and grab a body each or something.
There's 2 bodies. I make fire. I go boom.
There are 3 or there are 4 that need to be laid to rest still.
Yeah,
Mom is downstairs here. Dad is... he hung himself.
All the way upstairs.
Children.
Yeah, all of them are upstairs except for the mom, pretty much.
We could go for the bodies while you guys stay here. There's 2 of us.
If you get 2 bodies each, I suppose, and we can fend them off.
Is that...
Grimbold, as you're saying this, you realize that there's a warmth coming from your pocket. And Asher suddenly appears, we'll say right here. And he looks over his shoulder and says, "Run, I'll hold them back." And he lifts up his hands, and a wall of shimmering force, nobody else sees this, just you, appears before you.
Everyone, run!
Okay, let's run and grab bodies. I can run and grab one. Actually, I could probably carry both children from upstairs. Unless if Kiani wants to come with me and grab the other child from way upstairs.
I'll come with you to keep company and get the other body.
I'll get Miss Durst.
I guess that leaves me with the father.
As you guys start fleeing, you notice that this small doll begins to grow larger and larger. The seams rip, and out of them comes these massive tentacles. Not nearly as small and diminutive as the ones that you fought with the creature in the cupboard. A maw that has 1,000 eyes roars in hatred. As you guys are running, you notice that the tentacles seem to be grasping onto these pillars, and you feel the entire foundation of the house begin to shake. And so,
well, if we want to put them to rest, we need to book it. So can we sprint for this?
The chase is on.
All right, so
yes. Okay. So, you guys start back up the passage towards the crypt. There is a shaking like none other happening around you, as a scream of some otherworldly being echoes from the chamber behind you. You recognize that the ring in your pocket, Grimbold, becomes not just warm but scorching hot for a moment before slowly dying to its previous coolness. Everybody give me an athletics check, please.
Crapola.
21?
Damn.
I'm going to use my inspiration for advantage.
Okay.
Oh no.
I might have to do that as well because I
5.
only rolled a 5. Oh shoot.
Okay.
You have to use inspiration before you roll, don't you? Technically.
Technically, you're supposed to. In this case, I'll allow you to.
I think
spend
everyone
your
forgot that
inspiration
they
if you
had
want.
it.
I think so too. Yeah, I kind of spaced on it myself and just.
So you're okay with us using it then for this?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. I will expire my inspiration and 11.
Okay.
I had inspiration, but I still only got 6.
Oh no!
All right.
I had a 1 and a 4, and of course I'm not choosing the 1.
All right. Give me 2 seconds.
I prevented myself from it. What is going on with these rolls? We were having some good rolls here and there.
I've been rolling bad all night.
Yeah, it happens. Okay. Let me see here. I need to just write this down and keep track of things here.
I'm just glad it was you guys getting hit. Or getting hit. Because I wouldn't have survived.
Right?
Yeah.
You'd be a quarterling.
18 damage, yeah.
I would have died on that first one, yeah.
Oh, there's a reason why I'm friend.
Kiani would have done like half your damage too, which is like, I was like, oh shit.
I'm so glad I'm so glad I took it.
Yep. It was a good
Having
time.
a deception is going to save our asses. Let me tell you.
All right, so Kiani, you are like in go mode. Your survival instincts stick in. You recognize the place for what it is. It is indeed a death trap or a death house. Even you take off like a bullet down the path. You are a full 15 feet in front of everybody. Where would you like to go? So the plan, it seems, just to clarify to everybody, is that one or all of you are going for one or more of the bodies that you need to lay at rest. Is this correct?
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
I think we were kind of splitting up to get to each of the bodies as quick as we could, especially now that this place seems to be crumbling.
Yes.
So what was it? It was Zoltan and Grimbold going for the child battery. Lunaris was going for Mama Durst. Jax was going for Papa. Where was Kiani going?
Kiani was going up top with me. Grimbold, I don't know where Grimbold was going.
Oh, yeah. Where was Grimbold going?
I honestly don't remember who said what on that.
Well, I'll let you choose for yourself. We'll say that this is the spot before, like, you guys can say one last thing to one another about what you're doing before you split up.
Michael, will it be best if two of us go to carry each adult body here? Like, would it be best for Kiani to run upstairs on his own, carry two little kids, one on each shoulder? He's got good enough strength. He can run down with those two. And then Mom and Pop Durst. Would that maybe take two people each? Just the dead weight of an adult human?
There's no way I can carry any really adult.
And I don't know if Jax could on her own either, or me, because everything is in Dex for me.
I would say.
Go ahead.
Here's how I'll do it. I'll just this seems like the most likely thing that'll need to be happening. Kiani will have to go for the father. Grimbold can carry the boy, Thorn. Jax. I'll have plans with Jax separately, just because I have a good idea of what I'm going to do here. Zoltan will probably have to carry the girl, Rose, and Lunaris. You probably could get to the woman, to Elizabeth.
Yeah, I mean
that I think would probably be the best division. Yeah,
sounds good.
I agree. I went for her because it's a personal thing between me and her, so I figured.
Sounds good. Does that sound good for you, Kiani?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Kiani has kind of a head start on everybody. There are for sure two routes that you can do. You can go up through the ladder that you found, the secret ladder where you burnt the bodies. Shortcut. Or you can go to the stone stairway. Which direction would you like to go, Key?
Remember, the kids are in the attic. The father's on the second floor.
So yeah, if I'm going to the father, it'll be second floor.
Yep. So did you want to do from the secret staircase then? The secret ladder, rather?
Yes.
That went up to the living room on the first floor?
That's right. Yeah.
All right, so you only have one other set of stairs to go up. So yeah, that sounds good. Lunaris probably would get to Mrs. Durst quickly because she's right there.
Okay.
I don't know how many feet it was, but I think it was probably 2 turns worth, maybe.
You just have a fairly decent sense of where everything else in the house is, Key. So you sprint ahead. You already have a natural speed advantage on everybody anyway. And yeah, you end up being about actually 30 feet in front of everybody as you head towards the ladder. Zoltan, as you are moving, you recognize that somebody is lagging behind.
Okay, I will say, Grimbold, let's go. And I'll grab the scruff, the back of his neck, his collar there, and try to drag him along behind me.
That's better.
Did you want to actually lift him or carry him at all?
Yeah, I could jump on your back.
Sure, Grimbold, if you're comfortable with that, I'll toss him over my shoulder.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. You don't get any bonuses, but you essentially cancel each other out. Now, what was your roll? You had a 6, right?
None of us got really good. Except for the one.
Lunaris, you are distracted by the fact that Jax has fallen. You turn back to see that she has a small doll on top of her with a silver-looking needle in hand.
Uh-oh.
It jabs her in the thigh. There's a flash of blue energy. The doll kind of falls back, and Jax looks at you with a blue glow in her eyes, and a purple flame shoots up from her hand with a wicked smile.
Oh no.
A voice that isn't hers, but is still female, says, "Let's get out of here." Did you want to do anything?
Keep running.
Yeah, I guess. And is the little doll still there, you said?
Yeah, it seems to be, like, just disoriented.
I mean, I guess I could attack the doll, but, I mean, I don't know if that's necessary or not. Jax, I assume, may be possessed, but I can't really do much about that right now. I'm afraid she's going to attack me from behind, but I don't know. I might still want to just keep going.
That's fine. I'll do this. We'll go back to Kiani.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kiani. Give me a perception check, please.
Perception. Yes, 18.
All right, perfect. That's going to give you a +1. I'm just kind of recording what you guys are doing here. Kiana, even though you're like running like a bat out of hell, you scale the stairs, and as you get to the second staircase that's going back up to the hallways that lead to the ladder, you are quick enough to realize that the floor that you had passed previously has suddenly opened up, and you have to screech to a quick halt before looking down. Below, there seems to be a fissure, and instead of water, up from it, there is pools of lava rising up. Had you not made your check, you might have missed it and fallen deep into this 10-foot fissure that's cracked into the foundation of the home. Give me one more athletics check, please.
Athletics. 16.
All right. Yeah, you're just fleet of foot, and you're totally in your element here. You kind of do a quick leap onto the side of the wall, kind of very what would you say, Assassin's Creed like, as you run along the wall quickly over the fissure and continue down continue up the staircase at like a bat out of hell, getting even further towards your goal. Okay, Zoltan, Grimbold.
Good job.
I think we're just running up the spiral staircase, the little one.
Yep, sounds about right.
Well,
sounds good.
Carried.
As you basically follow the same path of Kiani, you see him leap over a fissure that suddenly has widened far more than before. To your left, another path that you haven't been before opens up. The rubble that apparently had been there before, crumbling and filling the fissure, and that Kiani clearly has just jumped over as he's running around a corner. There's a path there now. As you bolt through, the only way that you essentially can at this point, you see a large cavern with pillars, just wooden pillars like before, over a well. Inside the well is one of the tentacles that you had seen before, apparently having snaked its way up and through the pool of water. and lashes out at you. Both please make an acrobatics check.
Ooh. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Well, I rolled a nat 1. I do have +5, but...
no.
I rolled an 8.
All right. Partly in the fact that you're not running on your own and aren't able to leap off in time, but especially because a massive tentacle comes rearing its way out of this well, and you guys are trying to run and dodge out of the way, but it's just too large and clocks you against the wall. You both take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ooh, okay.
Buddy.
Okay, Lunaris and Jax. I need to roll for Jax. Okay, nice. So the blue glow that was in the eyes of the doll clearly is in the eyes of Jax now. The voice of Jax comes from the doll and quickly yells to Lunaris, "Keep running! I need to figure this out." As you turn, you see that Jax kind of puts 2 and 2 together and stabs at the
body of Jax.
what obviously is her body, seeking to
Great.
to switch back the possession of some kind. What do you do?
Well, first things first, I'm thinking that I'm really glad that I didn't turn around and slash that doll. Because that crossed my mind.
I'm not gonna. I'll tell you. I'll tell you later. I'm not gonna say.
All right. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm just like, good luck. Take care of yourself and don't die.
Okay.
Good luck. Have fun. Don't die.
Lunaris, you climb the stairs and you have kind of an issue. Before you is a fissure, and below is, and it's about 7 or 8 feet across. Below is a rising pool of lava. To your left, you see 2 of your companions sprawled out on the floor as a wild tentacle of some abyssal creature has slammed them, and it's kind of like arcing upright. You can either attempt to go the way of this nasty-looking tentacle, or you can attempt to get across by whatever choice, or however you wish, across the fissure.
Okay. And this fissure is stopping me from getting to the corpse that I was going for, Miss Durst?
Yes, it's kind of right in your way, but it is the most direct route.
Okay. Oh, I got it. So you said I can try and get across the fissure or go to the tentacle?
Or go the way with the tentacle, yeah.
And the tentacle is what hurt the other 2? Sorry, my brain visualization's not that
No,
great.
that's fine. Yeah, so essentially what you kind of recognize is that clearly the tentacle has knocked Zoltan and Grimbold prone.
Okay.
It is still sort of flailing wildly, so you would have to risk getting attacked from this thing, or you can skip that and attempt to just traverse the chasm on your right, essentially.
All right, well, I guess let's try and traverse the cavern.
Okay. Go ahead. How would you like to do this? I'm just curious.
I don't know, by taking a running jump.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
If I have 10 feet, yeah. Please. 13 plus 2 is a 15. It's not bad.
Okay. You get 50. So you have 15, correct?
Yeah.
You get to the lip of the crevice with lava below. 15 allows you to recognize halfway through that you are not going to make this jump after all. It just widens slightly.
Okay.
And so you are forced to drop whatever weapon you currently have equipped and reach out to try and grasp the edge of the chasm, but we'll wait for that.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Jax. You turn on your head to see that all your companions have already gone off to their respective their hopeful goal, which is to gather the corpses of the Durst family and end this curse once and for all. You turn to run regardless. Go ahead and give me a athletics roll, please.
Okay. 10.
Okay. Okay, that's not so bad. So I'm just going to quickly do this. As you turn around, you are pretty much about 10 feet behind. Who was it? I believe it was Lunaris was the last person behind you, if I remember correctly. You're 10 feet behind Lunaris when suddenly you hear Asher's voice, and you turn around, and at the bottom of your heel, something pokes you, and you take 4 points of damage.
Love that for me.
Suddenly you feel a coldness in your body, and the world seems to distort and shrink for a second. And you look up to see your form before you. Your hand has changed, and you realize that you have a sword of some sort, a silver sword. And you look up, and you're disoriented because what you see is your body far above you, towering above you, and it sort of jerks forward, and then your voice says, or you think it's your voice, it says to Lunaris, "Run, I'm right behind you." And Lunaris just nods and begins running around the corner, essentially, past the crypts that you guys were around. What you come to realize is that one of the dolls seemed to have gotten past whatever barrier your brother was attempting to put up, and poked you with a silver needle, and somehow your bodies have switched. You are now in a doll body, and the doll looks down at you, smiles, and begins to move down the corridor after Lunaris.
Oh no.
What would you like to do? Okay. Kiani, all right. Let me just quickly...
So where am I?
Give me... Sorry. Yeah. So you're kind of bad out of hell. You take the quickest route, which is sort of down the path to the left, to the chamber where you burnt the corpses and everything like that previously, where the Strahd statue was. You know where the door was. However, it is currently closed for some unknown reason. Give me a survival check.
23.
Oh, damn. You just happen to know terrain well enough that you recognize that the house is actually shifted, different than when it was before.
That was a nat 22.
Yeah, you feel along the wall for where you know the entrance to be. and you're able to fit your hand into a stone that has sort of fallen sideways, obscuring obscuring the way through. Give me a strength, an athletics check, to see if you can work your way through.
How many legs?
24.
Holy shit! You fucking got a natural 20 again.
Michael, I think you should just call it here because he's gonna roll his way through this.
Someone's got to do it.
Without missing a beat, you just know that you can move this. You grab. It takes as much effort as you've ever put into your body before, but with very little time, it takes. You strain every muscle in your body, cording like wire, straining against this rock, and you manage to lift clearly well over 400 pounds of stone, just enough for you to squeeze by. You scrape some of the skin on your chest, but you don't give a shit at this point. It doesn't do any actual damage, and you press your way through, and you see the wooden staircase, and just above, about 5-10 feet, the ladder that gets to the first floor, and you begin your climb.
Wow,
damn!
Nice. You just saved yourself some time.
The DC was 20, by the way. It was 20. So
I don't think you'd be coming back down that way.
Nobody's gonna like get this, like, very rarely. So I was like, okay, well, let's see if he gets there. He still has another path, but you totally made it. So
no, when you get that, you're probably gonna have to go up to the staircase so that you can traverse down.
Okay. Let's see.
Did it move it permanently, or did it move back in the way?
No, he's moving it out of the way, so it sort of like shifts and
okay,
he's
so
able
it's
to
open now.
get it to,
all right.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
it's open. So Zoltan and wait, no, I'm on Lunaris, am I?
It does better.
Picture.
No, I think
Zoltan and
Zoltan.
Grimble. Yep, Zoltan and Grim.
What do you think? Do we want to slice and dice this thing, or do we just try to get out of here?
I think we slice and dice.
Okay.
All right.
I will shoot. I guess those aren't in my hands anymore, so I'd have to cut myself again to do more damage to this thing. I need to do it so I can kill it.
That's true. Do it.
Yes, a 1.
Hey!
Not a 4.
That's
okay.
funny.
I'm down to 11 hit points. Okay, so I'll run up and slash this thing with both scimitars.
Give me your attack rolls. Go ahead and you can do the same thing if you want to attack.
19 and 8.
Okay, so the first one hits.
Uh, 10 points of damage.
Finally. 14
right.
for my hit, and I believe it was 5 for damage. Yeah.
All right. So you both strike in unison. One blade misses from Zoltan, but the other one strikes true, digging deep and engulfing the tentacle in fire. Just as Grimbold also jumps and slashes down with his short sword, the tentacle rears up and smashes down. Both of you managing to just get out of the way. Actually, let me double check, make sure you guys don't get hit. Okay, yeah. You both barely miss. The tentacle starts grasping on with these hairs that are essentially like spikes, digging into the earth and creating a massive crevice that separates the both of you. What would you like to do? Zoltan, you are nearest to you realize behind you there's a staircase that goes up and out in the direction of where your jail cell essentially is. Grimbold, you find yourself basically on the other end. You can either go back towards the crevice that had the lava, or you can try to either climb over this tentacle that is now dragging and about to make a cavern between you and Zoltan, or you can just try and jump over it. You can choose either those three options.
Does it seem
Zoltan
weakened at all?
It looks injured, yep, but doesn't seem to be particularly phased, I guess. It's more attacking out of rage from being hurt. So.
I will attempt to climb or jump over it.
All right.
Can I give him my, reach my hand out to try to give him my hand to climb up?
Sure, yep. I'll let you do that at advantage, Grimbold. Partly because you actually are a tiny character and can kind of move through enemies that are larger than you, so that's one reason. But also, Zoltan's trying his best to actually catch you or grab you as you're climbing. So roll twice for me.
What would you like me to roll? Error.
Do an athletics.
Or
please.
athletics. An 8.
Okay, one more time.
There we go. 20.
I didn't think you were going to get it. Okay.
Was the DC 20?
No, 19 plus 1.
It wasn't that high, but it was high. It was high. So with a scrambling hobbit-like luck of the frickin' Irish here, you climb a slimy tentacle, grasping onto one of the spikes to lift yourself up. Zoltan reaches, and his aid at the last second as you're slipping on this sort of slimy, gross tentacle, grasps your arm and pulls you over just in time, and you both run for the staircase behind Zoltan. Okay, Lunaris.
Yep.
You slam into the side of the cliff, your hand barely reaching the edge. Give me an athletics check, please.
15 plus 2, 17.
Your hand grasps at the last second on a niche in the stone, and you get jarred but caught fast, pulling yourself up. But in the process, your greatsword goes flying below into the lava. It actually is pretty tough lava, magma more like.
Yeah.
So it's not like a bloop. It's more like it lands and it just slowly starts to catch fire and heat up. But yes.
Like Gollum when he falls in with the ring.
All right.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly.
So do I delete that completely then? It's gone?
Yep, your great sword's gone.
Lovely. Sure. I'm going to have to get a new one. Alrighty.
But yeah, you have the strength and you rolled high enough that you sort of roll yourself up onto the thing, onto the platform, and keep running, and then take a right instead of left where Kiani went.
Right.
You come upon the corpse of Mrs. Elizabeth Durst, and yeah.
Nice to meet you again.
She's clearly, cut down and still. What do you do?
I'm gonna bring you home. I guess I'm just gonna grab her.
All right.
And trying my best to bring her down. I mean, how's that work?
So you're just running back the way you came? Is that what you're...
I'll come back at him. I mean, is that like that's the only way back down, right? I mean...
Seems that way, yep.
Seems that way.
Nothing is like it seems.
There was two different stairs going down, wasn't there? When we were looking through, wasn't there another set of stairs going down?
Not really. No, there's another set that essentially is going to the welcome back, by the way. Going to where basically Zoltan and Grimble are. That's the only other staircase that you guys missed. As you get to the staircase, whether to go back upstairs where Kiani was, or back downstairs where there's a crevice now before you, you suddenly see the spirit of Mrs. Elizabeth Durst stopping your way. She screams at you, "I have fought for this power. I don't care if I'm a prisoner. Die!" And she screams at you as she leaps her spirit tries to get into your body.
Okay.
Please roll a charisma.
Yeah, this bitch ain't gonna get me with that. But I hope I don't read my words. 18 plus 5.
Michael, I think you want us all to die, don't you?
What can I say? We never know, right? She tries desperately to claw into your chest, but the brilliance of your very celestial blood fends her off, and she seems to be repelled. In fact, her body seems to just naturally absorb her spirit again, and she is over your shoulder.
You don't deserve this power. So I guess what I was thinking, we don't necessarily need to bring them back down to the basement, right? I mean, or do we have to put them in the coffin specifically, or can we just bury them outside somewhere?
Go ahead and give me a religion check, please.
Yay, that's my proficiency. The sad thing is I'm not very smart with it. Oh, also I forgot. I had a saving throw, so technically I got 26 for that. Charisma.
Damn.
Because I have blood. Oh wait, no, I had to roll an extra D4.
Her ass off,
more or less. I need to remember that. Attack rolls and saving throws get the additional D4, so that's what that is. But you said this was just a skill check, so I don't get that. Religion.
Yeah, currently.
18 plus 1. Finally, getting some good rolls. Thank you.
Yeah, you look before you, and not only are you certain that just either dropping her into lava or making your way towards a seriously psychotic, powerful being, that you would actually be able to even get back to the crypt, but your knowledge as a paladin, and even though you're not necessarily like a ordained minister or priest or cleric or anything like that, you're confident that any sort of burial, so long as it is done sincerely and properly, will suffice to putting a spirit at rest.
All right, well, let's fucking go back up then.
Okay.
I'm gonna go towards the shortcut that Kiani opened.
Perfect.
I think
the doll looks down at you, smiles, and begins to move down the corridor after Lunaris.
Oh no.
What would you like to do?
I'm in a doll? What the fuck? Do I have the thing that the doll used to poke me?
You do. Yep.
Okay.
Your body's heel moves off. It kind of jerks out of reach for a moment, and your eyes look back at you, which you realize is it's almost like a weird, strange version of a mirror. Sort of smirks at you, sort of nods, and then starts running down the hall to the right.
I'm gonna chase after my body.
All right, give me one more athletics check, please.
12.
Okay. Let's see what this little bastard can do. So I have to use. So what's interesting is you find yourself actually not necessarily faster, but quicker and more agile than even your normal body is. So they actually have to use your roll. your body's dexterity.
Athletics wise, that's unfortunate for them.
It is kind of unfortunate for them, I gotta say. I'm going to make them. Okay. They have a bit of a head start on you, and even though it's awkward for them, they just are larger than you. I mean, you are larger than you are currently, and so they have a bit longer of a stride. You do manage to keep up with them. You're pretty much neck and neck. They're about 5 feet away from you as you tear after them. You yourself, whether it's just the adrenaline or just your desperation at the situation, you don't really register that that it's that much of an issue at first, even though that they're quite a bit taller. Let's go ahead and what would you like to do? Are you still going to run after them? Are you going to do anything else? Or
I mean, I don't know what else to do.
Okay. So was that a running after?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
19.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they look back and see you and sort of curse you and say, I've been here for 30 years. I'm getting out today. And they start running. But because they kind of turn back and they're kind of distracted by you, they kind of just bump into the wall and they stumble for a second. And that gives you the ample opportunity to leap at them, catching up, crossing that distance just in time as they're beginning to turn the corner to the reliquary room, the room with all the little pedestals that you guys had. So yeah, what would you like to do? You are within range to attack if you want to.
Well, all I have is my little thing, so I'm gonna poke myself with it and see if it puts me back in my body.
All right, sounds good. Go ahead and do a just roll a d20 for me. I'll tell you what.
Okay. I'm assuming I don't have any of my powers, so 18.
Okay, yeah. You don't have a very large armor class. You stab the needle, in the thigh. You leap and, manage to get the thigh. You're maybe about a foot tall, somewhere around there. Not even in terms of your length. So you leap and stab the thing, and you come to your body, and you wince in pain as you end up taking more damage.
Fine.
Let me see here.
All good.
I should also say that, what is your current hit points? You're down to 10, right?
I'm down to 10, yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Sorry, I got too many windows open. I have to call some of this. Oh, you're nice. You take 2 more damage. You realize that your heel is extremely pained, and you look down at your leg. Just with your clothes that you have, it's a little bit more bare than not under your robe, and you notice that a level of necrosis, necrotic damage has spread, sort of almost like an infection kind of looking type of damage. So it's not just that this needle has poked you and doing damage that way, but it's got some kind of negative energy that is attacking your body as well. Okay. Let me see what this thing can do. Oh, you're so lucky. The shrill that comes out of this doll, which you realize is the doll of the blonde girl. The blonde sort of baby doll kind of looking one. She screams and says, no! She swings at you, but it seems like she's very disoriented, and you're kind of ready for it, and she misses wildly as you dodge out of the way quite easily. You barely even have to dodge, she just misses wildly. As this happens, what you notice is you kind of look down the tunnel, and it starts to crumble. You realize that there's some kind of ghastly tentacle with spikes on it, almost like porcupine quills. That's growing larger and larger. It doesn't come near you, but it crashes into the wall, and it appears to go straight up and out towards. Basically, it's if you look at the map. Well, I guess I could probably bring it up. Anyway, so basically it's around the staircase from where you were going. But yeah, it causes the tunnel behind you to collapse. What would you like to do?
Is that doll thing still alive? I'm gonna hurl a fireball at it. Blow that bitch up.
All right.
Before I start running.
Sounds good. You're going to use your Chaos Bolt? Is that what it's called?
I'm just gonna use the Produce Flame, because I feel like for a tiny little doll, the Chaos Bolt might be overkill.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so go ahead and give me your...
I got 16.
Okay.
And then...
1d8 for damage.
Would it be +4? So 17, 18, 20? Is that what that is?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you definitely hit. Yep, you definitely hit.
Okay. And then D8. Where be my D8? There it is. 7.
Okay. So this thing screeches. She screams in agony as the doll gets lit on fire. You clearly do more damage than you expected. If it wasn't fire, it might not have done that much, but it's clearly weakened against it. It's made of some kind of canvas, and yeah, within seconds, it ignites. Within a second. So she essentially is screaming in pain and then drops down, engulfed in flames. She can
stab me over here trying to help all you motherfuckers, and you come and attack me and fucking stab me. What you get?
Okay. So yeah, you as you have no real time to savor your victory as the tunnel behind you starts to cave in towards you. Give me a acrobatics or athletics check. Probably acrobatics, actually.
Acrobatics, please.
Yes, we'll go acrobatics.
Pretty please. 11.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So as you're kind of savoring your victory for a second like that, you just don't move fast enough, unfortunately, and some of the rocks from the ceiling fall down and hit you in the back, doing.
I'm gonna die. It's been nice knowing that.
4 points of damage.
Love that for me.
You are knocked prone for the moment on the ground. What would you like to do?
I have a health potion. Can I take my health potion?
Sure. Sounds good. Just double check, make sure I know how much it does here. Roll 2d4 for me, please.
4, 2.
All right, plus an extra 2 as you cough the red liquid that's inside. You feel your body rejuvenated, and a lot of the wounds that you're feeling miraculously appear to mend themselves. Any cuts and gashes, even the necrotic damage itself, retreats as if just wiped away with a cloth, and you gain a good portion of your hit points back. I think that's what.
Oh, thank God.
So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hit points back.
8 back?
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Healed. Okay, perfect.
So you're up to 12, I think?
Yes.
12 hit points. All right. As you do this, however, you are in quite a predicament as the ceiling above you begins to cave in. What would you like to do?
I'm going to try and run to the nearest exit that I can as quickly as I can.
Sounds good. Give me one more athletics check, please. Actually, give me an acrobatics and an athletic check. We'll do acrobatics first.
So roll twice.
Roll twice, yeah. One acrobatics and one athletics.
21.
Okay.
And 8.
All right, perfect. You roll out of the way. It is like the last ditch effort. You are just spurred on by adrenaline at this point, and literally the cave entrance that goes into the reliquary just falls down right where you were. You just managed to roll in time. You managed to kind of struggle yourself up, and as you turn the corner to go up the stairs, which is the only entrance that you're aware of, you see this tentacle burst through the stairs and explode up into the portion of the cavern above you, stopping any real exit that you have. You are, to some degree, locked in this reliquary area. The pillars, for the most part right now, have withstood any of the destruction that is happening from this tentacle. So the room you're in is, for the most part, safe for now. But unfortunately, you are, for the moment, from what you can tell, trapped, as this tentacle seems to push through the earth with tremendous force. No different than the stories you've heard from Candlekeep of those ancient beings like the Kraken, who can crush through ships as if it's splintering wood with little effort. What would you like to do? Okay. Kiani, you bolt upstairs. The door is still open from when Zoltan had left it ajar. And before you see 3 wolves that are now animated. The statues that were once there seem to now have come to life.
Madison was right.
What would you like to do? They are just growling and staring at you with bloodlust.
I would like to see if I can roll an intimidation.
All right, sounds good. Do it up.
6.
Shucks. I will allow you to spend your point of inspiration if you want to re-roll. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Never mind. 5.
Oh, shucks. No worries. So the wolves howl in unison. You just kind of put off that they're animated right now, and your intimidation of a primal yell just kind of doesn't convince them, and they attack you.
Mm-hmm. Nice try.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Only one latches his teeth onto you.
Is Kiani still at 6 hit points? I totally forgot about that. Or we didn't rest? Was that after the rest? Or
No.
before?
Oh no, sorry. You're full health. You're full health.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you just okay. So got it. So Kiani,
we just didn't update. That's all. Yeah, that's my bad. I forgot to make sure.
I was gonna say, I'm like, there's no way.
No, I had said just to kind of go through it. We'd make sure to.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Scared me for a second. I was like, he's gonna die in 1 hit. Good luck.
So you get 6 points of damage done to you, Kiani.
Okay. 6 points.
Down to 17.
Down to 17. As the wolf bites into you, it attempts to grapple you. Give me an athletics check, please.
Okay, athletics. Okay, 21.
Perfect. You're able to fend it off. The 2 wolves appear to fall through the floor as it cracks open. The one that was on you forcibly toss it aside, and it also falls down the the crevice in the house that is slowly growing. The house itself is shaking more and more violently at this time. You bolt for the spiral staircase that leads to the second floor. All right, Zoltan and Grimbold. You guys fly up a set of stairs, and you find yourselves in the hallway to where that alcove was. To your left, you have the spiral staircase that goes all the way up to the fourth floor, or you can go towards the secret latch to the first floor. Up to you.
I think our plan was to go up that spiral staircase, so I think we should probably keep doing that and not think that we heard a conversation about wolves. So
all right, yes. All right, yeah, no metagaming here at all.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, you guys make a very good decision because as you turn to your left, the house's foundation rips asunder. Just behind you, the larder, that one room that you were just in, suddenly opens up, and portions of the top of the first floor come flying down and land in a horrible sizzle of magma.
Okay.
Give me 3 athletics checks each, please.
All right. Crapola.
We running, we climbing, we jumping.
You go first.
All right, 11, 15, and 7.
You said athletics? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Kiani, you can do 3 as well. Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I do 3?
Okay, perfect.
3.
Yes, actually, you can do 3 as well, please.
3, 7, and an 8.
Oh, I got a nat 20 on here. 6, 19, 14.
All right. Grimbold.
Mm-hmm.
You are climbing the best you can up these stairs, but you just keep lagging behind. Zoltan, just without realizing it, is just, his long-ass legs are keeping him spinning up far past you. You got a 6 as well, right?
A 3, 7, and an 8. Or
yeah.
Zoltan.
As you get to what you think is the first floor, Grimbold, the whole house shifts and the staircase above you crumbles. You come flying out the wall, taking 10 points of damage. As stones bash into you, and you are partially covered by rubble. You find yourself in the dining room of the
main floor?
Yeah, the dining room of the first floor. And you are knocked prone.
That's awesome.
Zoltan, you get to the third floor, and something similar happens to you. The wood and stone open up, and the top of the building starts to cave in the entrance to that portion of the building. You find yourself knocked prone, but with no damage, on the third floor currently. Let me just make sure where you actually are here. In the master bedroom.
Okay. Am I able to run up the regular staircase to get to the fourth floor then?
Yep, we'll get there. Okay. Lunaris. What was your rolls?
My rolls was 15, 12, and a nat 20.
Okay. You find the ladder, not just the way open to you, but the ladder there. As you're climbing, the body of Mrs. Durst slung across your neck, sort of fireman style. As you're climbing, each rung that your bottom foot is going from starts to give way. You barely, at the last second, are able to leap as the ladder comes away and the house begins to shift, you see wolves and portions of the house above you fall in, but you are on one side part of the first floor. You realize that a big portion of the wall is actually opened up into the yard, and you're able to scramble at the last second as the earth starts to pour in with you, jumping just in time to safety with Mrs. Durst still in your possession. You look up to see the entire house beginning to sink down into the ground. On the other end, a massive tentacle, easily 40 feet, like a kraken, wrapping itself around the back end of the house and dragging it down into the ground.
Damn.
What would you like to do?
Can I roll perception just to see if there's any possible way that I could find to get out of here?
Sure, sounds good. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check as well. So roll 1 perception and just roll a straight. Actually, roll Arcana after that, actually. So
okay, perception is 15.
Okay.
And Arcana is 17.
Okay, perfect. So your mind is sharp. Again, adrenaline sort of coursing through your veins. You kind of naturally move towards one of the pillars for protection as some of the ceiling begins to crumble closer to that tentacle. You think you have one of two options. As you look around, you know this room is pretty much sealed where it is. The only way that you think you can probably get out of here is through the hole that the tentacle is basically crawling up. It would be extremely dangerous to you, but that is essentially your only exit from what you understand, based as you kind of scan the room and as you kind of know what's in this room itself. Poe seems to have flown already behind, like he seemed to run away basically with Asher's command right away. And he's standing, basically standing on the pedestal where he had gone before. And he's just basically staring at you, watching you. Arcana-wise, you kind of have one ditch effort that you can think of. You are a wild mage. And when you cast your first level spells, you know that there are plenty of random things that can happen when you do so. And so you kind of think you can either use your spells, whatever you have, to not just attack or to hopefully get a moment towards the tentacle. That's one thing that sort of suggests to yourself. Or the last ditch effort in some case would be to hope that whatever you casted, if you just kept on casting spells, that one of your wild magic, what would you say? Wild magic consequences might save your ass, because that seems like the only thing that might actually help you in this situation. Otherwise, you know for a fact that you are going to get buried alive within the next maybe minute.
Well, that being said, I'm a chaos bolt that fucking tentacle, baby.
So for those who haven't realized, as I've realized, I have robbed Jax truly by accident of two of her, what would you say? Two of her wild magic surges in the past. I forgot to actually activate them. The first one I totally spaced out on, and the second one I said that I was going to tell you what it was, and I never did after reviewing the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm essentially going to give you advantage to re-roll your wild magic for two of the, I believe you have a possible 3 spells right now with your sorcerer points. Yeah. So you can cast 2 spells for sure, which will allow you to re-roll the 1d100 wild magic surge consequences. And then if you want to spend your 2 sorcery points to give yourself another first level spell, I'll let whatever stands for the third one, if you don't happen to get out of here because of wild magic, to see what happens. And those are the only options from what I've thought about this as a DM, and this is kind of the limits that I'm willing to allow you to live. So I hope you like playing, craps or poker or blackjack or whatever it is, whatever your game of chance is, because that's what this essentially is going to come down to today. If your character lives, it will be because of your wild magic, in my opinion. So,
all right. Let's see how this goes.
So to start, you do have a growing tentacle bursting through the floor and kind of encroaching on where you are as the pillar. So yeah, you can totally attack it, no problem. So you have to roll, I believe it's 2d8.
Okay.
And 1d6. And then you tell me what the first d8 number is and the second d8 number.
For d8, we have 4, 6, and then 1d6, 6.
All right. So you can choose to either number 4, which if you look at the spell, it allows you to do a force damage, or number 6 is a poison damage. Which one would you like to do? What's that?
Where are you looking at this at?
Oh, so just go to your first level spell for Chaos Bolt, right?
Okay, so I click on it.
And click it, and it has a little.
Oh, okay, where like the little table is 1 through 8.
Yeah, so down at the bottom. Exactly. So it says, you hurl an undulating, warbling mass of chaotic energy at one creature in range. Make a ranged spell attack. On a hit, the target takes 2d8 plus 1d6 damage. Choose one of the d8s that you did, and that determines the attack's damage type.
Okay.
I will say...
I want to go with... Okay, go ahead.
Nope.
No, what were you going to say?
I want to see what you pick first. Sorry.
I was going to go with poison.
Okay. Just because I'm going to be nice, nothing in this game almost ever resists force damage, whereas poison can sometimes often be shrugged off. Force damage is like using the force. It's a very powerful damage type. So that's probably the one you might want to go with.
Okay, I'll go with that then. I'll trust you.
Okay. So you did a 4 and a 6, and what was the d6?
6.
6. Okay, perfect. So 4, 6, that's 10. So 16. So 16 damage. You concentrate as hard as you can. Oh, I suppose you actually have to roll to see if you hit this thing. So you will have to do your that plus 4
20.
to hit. Or yeah, you got a 20.
I got a 13.
Oh yeah, 13, and then plus 4.
So 17.
Yeah. So, and as you concentrate, you see this energy sort of pour out of your hands, and you thrust forward a massive bolt of force energy, slams into this creature. You see it shudder, and it kind of pushes into the stairway just enough that you see now a streak of light come down throughout the dust that's falling, and you know that there is a way up and out at some point if you can somehow get out there. But let's find out what your wild magic surge ends up being, shall we?
Okay.
Go ahead and roll 1d100. And we'll decide. We'll figure out what the results
70.
are. 70. Okay. So 7 and a 0 is what you got?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So what 70 says is each creature within 30 feet of you becomes invisible for the next minute. The invisibility ends on a creature when it attacks or casts a spell. So I'll allow you to re-roll that if you want to have something, because this would effectively make the tentacle invisible. So that might not be the best thing.
Yeah, I would like to re-roll.
All right, go ahead and see what happens.
Okay. 20.
Okay. 20. Yeah, so I'll let you choose which either or. You cast the spell Grease centered upon yourself. So essentially what Grease does is it makes everything slick, and anything moving within it has to roll an acrobatics and stuff like that if it's trying to move through. including yourself. So you can make the tentacle invisible, or essentially you can cover the room in a grease spell. I'll let you choose.
That's not going to help me get out of here.
I don't think it is, but you know.
I think I have to re-roll.
So I'm still going to make you choose one of those two, though, before you have to cast another spell to cause another. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. All right. Well, grease it is. Grease lightning, go! Grease lightning.
Let's see. All right. So a 10-foot square around yourself, centered around yourself, exudes from the force. It just sort of splatters across the ground before you. It doesn't really affect the creature, as it kind of, some of the grease gets onto it. It's sort of like a magical goo of sorts. It slicks through, no problem, doesn't really affect you. However, if you know the basis of the spell, if you were to walk on top of it, you would have to roll a dexterity throw. So even now, your ability to get to the tentacle has become more dangerous. For if you fail your saving throw, you know you will fall down prone, which is not exactly the best situation. So you have a choice. You can either go towards the tentacle and try and see if you can't get up the damn thing with this new thing, or if you don't do that now, you know that you'll have to move backwards because the pillar behind you that you're standing on is starting to crack, and you have to go. You might need the protection of the deeper pillars, the four that are remaining after that.
I'm gonna move to a more stable pillar.
Okay. Good idea. So you kind of back up from your grease pile there. As the tentacle grows even larger and larger, you can tell that the ground above you is beginning to sink, not just from above you, but even the foundation of the rock that you're under begins to crack, and two of the pillars that you were right next to, closest to the stairs, one of them shatters, and the upper floor above you drops about 3 or 4 feet, and the strain on the next pillar is beginning to crack it straight down. What would you like to do?
Got a lot of options. I just got a chaos bolt again, I guess.
All right, sounds good. Go ahead.
Okay. So I got a 2 and a 2, and then a 2. Lots of 2s. And then I guess I have to roll the 20 to see if I even hit. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
All right, so this will be cold damage this time, regardless.
Yes.
And you definitely hit. Are you trying to still hit the tentacle? It is still possible.
Yeah, I'm still smacking it.
All right, sounds good. So you are a little bit more concerned. It's not necessarily that you're completely off in terms of your aim. In fact, you're dead on. But the streaks of icicles that come out just sort of pierce the flesh of this massive creature that's crawling its way through the floor and up around, from what you can imagine, up around the house above you by now, or seeking it out, it seems. It doesn't seem to do anything. It's not slowing down for the most part. But yes, go ahead and roll a D100 for me and see what happens.
23.
What was it, sorry?
23. No, oh no.
Oh my God. Okay. As you do, the ice sort of crawls up your arms for a moment, staining your entire body. The magical effect going through your whole body. You now have become a bright, vibrant blue for tinging your skin. It doesn't seem to hurt you or anything like that, but all your skin is now a bright, vibrant blue. Unless, of course, you want to re-roll and see what happens.
Do it. Reroll. 12.
Oh, interesting. Roll a d10 for me, please.
A D. Is this a 10? I think this is a 10. 3.
Okay. That's odd. So you have a choice. You can either become 3 inches shorter than what you are, or you can be bright blue. Those are your options.
Inches shorter make me light enough for Poe to carry me the fuck out of here.
Poe has literally been like a statue, just watching you.
Poe, fucking help me. Ah, I'll be blue. I'll be blue.
Okay. So, yeah, you have your skin, just becomes sort of a vibrant blue kind of color now. You almost look like you could have been a tiefling in your previous life now, your skin is cerulean or some other similar shade, sapphire looking. All right. You have the ability to transfer your sorcerer points into another spell slot if that's what you'd like to try and do. But in the meantime, the pillar before you snaps and it forces you back one more step. Unfortunately, it causes a good chunk of the entire upper cavern to cave in front of you. You can no longer see the tentacle. You can no longer see a way out from here. It forces you back into the far corner of the of this reliquary. What would you like to do? All right. Grimble.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. No, Kiani. It's actually Kiani's turn. Kiani, you see portions of the house just falling below you. You manage to get to the second floor. Second floor?
Yeah,
second floor. And is it the second floor? No, it'd be the.
There's 4 floors including the attic?
Actually no, it'd be the third floor.
Okay.
Sorry, is where I'll say you can still get up there with your checks. You come to the main the main door of Mr. and Mrs. Durst, and you find that some of the beams have shifted to the right, blocking your way through. What would you like to do?
Because I'm essentially the goal is I've gotten the body of the.
You haven't gotten the body yet.
Okay.
But you're going for Mr. Durst, who's behind this door, essentially.
Yeah, so I'd like to. And you're not doing any visuals, right? We're just doing like.
No, I'm just kind of doing visual.
Cool.
Theater of mind.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'd like to go and still retrieve the body.
All right. Are you going to try and bash through the door? Or are you going to try to smash it with your hammer? What would you like to try and do?
I'll just go ahead and smash it with my hammer.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an attack roll, please.
Okay, attack. Hammer. Okay. 16.
Did you want to use your rage to get the extra damage?
Yes. Let's do that.
Right. All right, sounds good.
Well, Michael,
infuriated
that like that, you've got to say yes.
Infuriated by the house's attempt to not just consume you, but to prevent you from your goal. You rage and do. Can you do the 1d10 plus 2?
Yep.
There.
Oh, 1d plus 10, right?
All right. Then you get the plus 2 on top of that. So you do 9 points of damage. One massive swing, baseball style, with both hands, shatters one of the side doors from its frame. It destabilizes the house even more, but you're able to still get through to the hanging Mr. Durst. You realize that there's a balcony to the right And if you want to give me one final athletics check, please.
Okay, athletics.
That's right.
24.
Jesus. Without even hardly stopping, you grab the makeshift noose made from a bedsheet, tear it down with great strength and speed, your rage fueling you as you jump over the bed to the balcony. You come outside, smashing through the door. The balcony is covered in the first portion of it by a massive tentacle with these spikes coming out of it, gripping into the house and crushing it. But you are also no longer on the third floor, at least not according to the actual level of the house as it is currently sinking. You're only 10 feet above the ground, and with a mighty leap and Mr. Durst over your shoulder, you manage to get to safety, landing roughly, but upon the ground of Durst Manor's backyard, essentially. All right. Zoltan and Grimbold. We'll do Grimbold first. Grimbold, you see the side of the house that you are kind of fallen into give way as spikes crush through the stone and break it apart. It slithers and shows you a single window of hope as the ground slowly sinks below you. Give me 2 acrobatics checks, please.
A 17 and a 13.
Oh, yeah.
Nimbly, you roll just as part of the house begins to fall upon you, crushing. Surely would have crushed you to death had you missed that one. The slight amount of light that's coming from the hole in the house starts to get covered up by this tentacle, and you manage to dive roll through onto the front lawn. You are scrambling, clawing as the rest of the earth below your feet starts to cave in, and you are able to grasp onto one more stone as the earth below you gives way, and you're hanging there precariously, desperate, trying not to fall. Kiani, you see as you land your companion Grimbold hanging, and just because you rolled so damn high, literally a nat 20, you come up, see him, grab him by the scruff of the neck on his cloak or on his backpack, and hoist him to safety as you run into the forest of the backyard at the last moment.
I guess I have to use my sorcerer points.
Okay.
And I don't know what
you can still cast. You could still do cast Chaos Bolt. You can do Detect Magic if you want. It's totally up to you.
Okay, I guess I'll use Detect Magic.
All right.
Since I can't see anything else, so.
Okay. So yeah, as you are backed up sort of against the wall, you just happen to pick the pedestal that's next to your Raven Poe, who sort of just cricks his neck towards you, and you see not just his center eye, but all 3 eyes glowing a bright light blue color, reminiscent of the star that seemed to talk to you previously. It looks cold and distant, and then it turns to look towards the cavern that's caving in, and before you walks your brother, Asher. And he says, "I'm sorry, Jax. I'm trying to help you as best I can. I'm bound." the magical energies of your sight swirl for one final wild magic experience. Go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
86.
Yeah. You find yourself, the image of yourself mirrored multiple times as you... I just realized something. You actually do have inspiration still.
I don't know what that means.
So inspiration allows you technically to have advantage on something. I'll allow you to use your inspiration to re-roll one more time. But otherwise, this effect would have given you the spell mirror image. So it essentially gives you multiple shimmering images of yourself, and those looking at you can't figure out which one's real.
Well, that's not going to help. All right. I guess I'll use my inspiration to roll again.
All right, one more time. Let's see what happens.
33. Please be something helpful. Teleport me the fuck out of here. Do something.
Unfortunately, this one is to maximize the damage of the next damaging spell you cast within the next minute. So this is what's going to happen. The bird behind you lands on the floor, and as the house begins to sink, you can tell that the walls are now crushing in, perhaps another tentacle or something seeking around a different roundabout way of destroying this dungeon as well as the home above you. Asher comes and sort of stands with you and just looks at you apologetically. I'm sorry, I have to go. It's getting too hard to maintain my and he just fades out. It disappears. You are alone, staring at which one would you like? Would you like to maximize the amount of damage you do for your next attack spell, or would you like to become multiple mirrored versions of yourself? Just out of curiosity.
Attack.
Okay, sounds good. The bird sort of, looks like he's not necessarily entertained, but he says in a voice not out of his beak, but linking to your mind, he says, I truly wondered whether or not chance would save you. I still am curious about you, and I understand the power that's within. If you'd like, I can help you once more.
Oh.
The house begins to shift and crush on you, and he says, I believe I understand, having watched you, how the weave of magic interacts with you. If you want, perhaps I can access it. It will be painful.
Okay.
Okay. It sort of leaps up onto your shoulder, and you realize that the bird itself begins to grow. You realize that it's not fully a physical thing. It's more the presence of what is connected to Poe's body, at least, or whatever this raven happens to be. It grows larger and greater behind you. Your sight sort of fails you. in terms of the amount of dust and the chokiness and the tightness that it begins to crush down on you. And I will show you one thing more. As you feel the presence of the raven grow, you realize that the tentacle that is crushing his home is not the only thing that seems to want to crush you. This one is more spiritual and metaphysical in nature. And suddenly you feel the presence of this massive giant raven's beak come and touch the center of your forehead. And the pain that your own fire gives you is so intense that it causes you to lose all thought possible. You feel it grow and explode within you. You don't exactly understand what's happening, but the darkness of the room begins to fade out instantly as your entire body is wreathed in purple flames. You look down at your body, the bluish tinted skin now alive with violet fire, not just on, but in and under your skin. You've never felt such heat before as you become something completely different. Something inside of you is unlocked, and you feel it building more and more and more until the room explodes in a massive fireball. You recognize that your very life essence seems to have expanded beyond yourself, and consciousness seems to escape you. And so it comes down to Zoltan. Third.
Yeah, we're not done yet, though.
I know.
Zoltan, you come to the staircase. Give me one more athletics roll, please.
Okay. 13.
All right. Yeah, so you make it out of this this third story building. You realize that Kiani has just jumped out of the side door. What would you like to do? With that roll, you can either jump after him, or you can continue going upstairs to try and get to the children in the attic.
So, I can survive, or I can stop people from doing this in the future. So let's run upstairs.
All right.
I feel like my alignment is going closer to lawful good than it is lawful neutral right now.
Yeah, or at least neutral good anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine. In a sudden grip of moral character, whether usual for him or not, vengeance is no longer really on your mind, but the salvation of two small children below being tortured by some unknown entity that is now consuming the house. Just it moves you for whatever reason. Give me 3 acrobatic checks, please.
Jesus Christ. I have a +5 on this. 15. 21.
Oh my god, we're getting
22.
Oh my god.
No way. When it matters. Oh my god. Could have died.
You're exhausted, you're tired, you're hurt from a tentacle smashing you against a wall, and this house is doing everything in its power to come out from underneath of you. But your nimble ass jumps, leaps, dodges to the attic, and you smash through the door. The top, when you come through the door, what you see is Thorn and Rosevalda as they first appeared to you when you first got to the land. Their images slightly transparent, and Thorn, shockingly, or like with shock on his face, says, "You came back for us." And as he does so, the entire roof peels away, a tentacle coming down in on you, and darkness covers you. And that is where we'll end.
Oh,
Holy crap.
Until next time on The Curse of Strahd.
Ah. I have tears in my eyes.
I was pretty sure I did.
I thought we were all gonna die. Like once Lunaris got out, I'm like, well, that's good. One party member survived. I don't know if the rest of us are gonna make it. Michael, you did a really good job of making it more and more stressful each time somebody had to make it out of there.
Oh my god, the house was coming apart. I didn't expect that.
How stressful is Jax's one gonna be? Is she gonna have to watch this?
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Yeah.
I won't let her watch it until it's done, just like I didn't let you
That's
watch
so
the
good.
session.
That's gonna be good.
So yeah. But that's where we'll end for today. Sorry it took quite a bit longer than I anticipated. But,
It's okay.
yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
It was worth it.
That was a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, thanks for playing, guys.
Yeah,
And,
thank you.
Thanks for watching, folks.
Splitting your schedule too.
Yeah, no worries. Until next time, I am Zelazel, the Zelazel, and this is Curse of Strahd, the Beckoning. Until next time, take it easy.